Good morning. We're here at Tibbetts Brook Park where it connects to our South County Trailway. And today we're celebrating the 30th anniversary of the South County Trailway. There's a lot of people to thank. Good morning. I'm Peter Tartaglia, First Deputy Commissioner of Westchester County Parks. On behalf of myself and Commissioner Kathy O'Connor, we welcome lots of bicyclists here today. Thank you, bicyclists. We welcome the City of Yonkers at large for being part of this. We welcome park goers, and we welcome all the people that you see behind here who've made what we're talking about today come true over the years. Okay, we got to flash back. 30 years ago was 1991. Ed Pelveca, who was a famous bicycling journalist, wrote about how he lost 7 pounds from cycling to work 25 miles a day. That was 30 years ago, where health was part of the bicycling community. So we're happy to be part of that. Also, 1991, the #1 movie was Terminator Judgment Day. And the World Wide Web had just opened to the public. So that's how long ago this was. Back here in Westchester County, we opened up the South County Trailway. It took us till 2012 to finish the South County Trailway, but we opened it in 1991. As you can see, the South County Trailway is surrounded by beautiful parkland. It's 14.1 miles that stretch from Eastview North to the city line south. Also, it's part of a much larger 36-mile run that we have, which is a combination of the North and South County Trailway. Together, that will bring you from the city line to Putnam County. Our trailways are really where communities meet. This is where Yonkers meets, this is where Hastings meets, this is where a lot of other communities along the way meet. And that's what it's here for. They're our most used facilities in all of our parks department for walking, jogging, and biking. Over the years, the last few years, we have to thank Westchester County government for working together to have some fixes to the both North and South County Trailway. The North County Trailway capital project is complete, it's beautiful, it's wonderful, and it's been open for a long time already. The South County Trailway north of here is now getting redone more in the Hastings and Dobbs Ferry area. So thank you to all of Westchester County, including the Parks Department, the County Executive's Office, the Law Department, the Board of Legislators, DPW, planning, and lots of others. So we're very committed to doing that here today. And to get started, we have a few speakers, some people who have been instrumental in what we do and the history of what's happened here. And the first speaker, we have a wonderful partnership with our Board of Legislators. We have 2 of them here today who will speak. And the first one is a great partner and is very, very passionate about our park system. If I could ask Ruth Walter to come up and say a couple of words.
Thank you. Thank you, Peter. Thank you to County Executive George Latimer and to his amazing team for once again bringing attention to our beautiful parks and to the investment that we continue to make in our parks and in the health and well-being of the residents of Westchester County. This has to be the best part of the job because we sit at tables and we vote on bond issues to improve and to upgrade our systems. And then we get to come in real life and see the benefits of what we are investing in. We know during COVID that people have done staycations, they have stayed in Westchester County, they have explored the parks. We have a wonderful initiative called Naturally Essential to try to get people to visit all 50 plus parks in our system. I'm getting my way through the park system. I think I've gotten to a few that I hadn't seen before. And I also want to say that when I was training for the 2014 triathlon, I did bicycle on this trailway. And some of the parts were, pretty tough on your teeth. There was a lot of disrepair. And so we know that County Executive Latimer and the Board of Legislators and the Parks Commission and DPW and Planning, they notice and they are fixing things. And I'm so grateful to that, to the improvement that will make this a beautiful ride for everybody here at the Yonkers Riding Club, Biking Club. And I also want to shout out to one of my constituents, Phil Pepe, who brought me newspaper clippings like the second day I was in office to talk about the elected officials who worked to keep this trailway, which was the old Putnam Railway, in the public hands. So thank you, everybody, and let's go for a great ride.
Ruth, thank you for training for a triathlon. A lot of us here have not done that. Our next Board of Legislators is not too late, so you might inspire us.
It's fun.
We have another legislator here who is also passionate and the head of the Parks Committee for the Board of Legislators. He's a friend, and he has been very passionate about many of our parks, and Tibbetts Brook Park is one of them, as well as the Trailway. Please welcome David Tubiello.
Thank you, Pete. Thank you, everyone. Just a few special thank yous for a bunch of wonderful people. This was a team effort. Yonkers here, Tibbetts Brook Park is the central park of Yonkers, and you can argue the central park of Westchester. And as Ruth was saying, who's a wonderful vice chair for the Parks Committee, thank you, Ruth. During COVID, which we're still in, by the way, but we're getting out of it, parks and green space are so important. So I just want to say thank you for the team. Deputy County Executive, of course, Ken Jenkins, Peter Tartaglia, Kathleen O'Connor, George Latimer, who's a great mentor and friend, and of course, the Board of Legislators, Mayor Spano, Michael Sabatino, and then, of course, I just want to say special thank you to a wonderful, wonderful activist who's, I always ask her for advice, and she always helps me, and we talk about many issues. My good friend Rona Shapiro, who I see right here. Let's give her a round of applause. And the reason I mention her, not only is she a great friend, but it's because of the people and the group here that this is why we do everything. For the public to enjoy, for us to enjoy as a team effort. And I just want to say thank you, and I'm so happy we're connecting everything. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you, David. This park and this pathway sits in the city of Yonkers. Many of our parks traverse the city of Yonkers. Tibbetts Brook Park, this Trailway, Dunwoody Golf Course, Sprain Lake Golf Course, and of course Sprain Ridge Pool. So we have a wonderful relationship with the city of Yonkers. We're dedicated to the people of Yonkers and Westchester through our park system. And today we have Michael Sabatino, who's the director of the Yonkers Office of Constituent Affairs, to say a couple of words on behalf of Yonkers.
Thank you, Peter. Unfortunately, the mayor couldn't be with us today, but he sends his congratulations on this anniversary. As you know, we have a very active Yonkers Bike Club whom avails themselves to this trail, as does other citizens. We're very proud to have this park here in Yonkers. As many have said, it's one of our gems in the city. And we encourage people to come out and get healthy. We're a very diverse city, but we want to also be a healthy city. So I would encourage people to come out, utilize the trail, take it a little pace at a time, maybe 2 or 3 miles to get started, and then eventually you can complete the whole trail. But I want to thank everybody, the County Board of Legislators, the County Executive, the Deputy County Executive, for making this a priority. Because as we know, having lived through COVID for the last year and a half, we really need good open space. And this is a great place to get out, clear your mind, and take a long ride. So thank you to everybody.
Thank you, Michael. Okay. We have had the commitment of our current county executive, George Latimer, on our park system since day one. We've been having various press conferences showing the work that's being done to the facilities that we've had, the people's parks, the people's facilities, for the next generations to come, for people today, but for people tomorrow as well. And this is another example of commitment, is at Tibbetts Brook Park. We are about to start a capital project in the fall, which will resurface all of the roadways here, have new drainage put in, and a lot of other cool things for the future of Tibbetts Brook Park. You have the South County Trailway, which connects right here. If you go north into the more of the Greenberg area, there is capital work being done to finally complete the fixing of the trailways. So the commitment from the county executive, Ken Jenkins, the deputy county executive, and his staff, and all the way down, all the other departments and board of legislators that we've spoken about, has been unbelievable. We'd just like now to introduce, on this special occasion, our county executive, George Latimer.
Thanks very much, Peter. First of all, let's make sure we recognize all of the celebrity bike riders we have here today. Yonkers Bike Club, are you in the house? Yonkers, give us a pump up if you're here. And Rona Shapiro, already introduced, deserves a second introduction, and her advocacy for biking has been tremendous, aside from what she normally does. We also have with us in the audience, probably working, but certainly bike riding, Dave McKay Wilson, journalist from the Lowhead Journal News, and an avid biker. And we also have behind me the commissioner of our Department of Social Services, Leonard Towns, ready to go. The supervisor, longest serving supervisor in Westchester County currently, the supervisor of the town of Greenburgh, Paul Feiner. We're fortunate to have the co-chair of our Asian American Advisory Board. She's also head of the planning board where she lives in the village of Sleepy Hollow, Marjorie Shue. And the former Yonkers City Council president, who's also served previously as head of the Westchester Municipal Officials, Chuck Lesnick. I'm on day 11 of my no-carbs diet. They are all role models for me that someday I will be able to go out there with them and hold my own for at least a little while on the route. But we're very appreciative. And by the way, when Peter was giving you those flashbacks of what happened 30 years ago, 30 years ago was 1991. On this day, 30 years ago, I was running for the Westchester County Board of Legislators for my first time, and that night, I went to the Village of Mamaroneck Summer Concert to shake hands. 30 years later, tonight, I'm going to the Village of Mamaroneck Summer Concert to shake hands. Some things never change. Some things never change. There's a lot of great stories here, and of course, the primary story is the fact that this route, the South and North County Trailways together, represent a great place for bicyclists, for walkers, for people to get exercise, and in a beautiful environment. I was reminded that because this was a right-of-way for a railroad, it's shaded. It's not something in a wide open, 20-some-odd miles of wide open sun beating down on you. It makes beautiful vistas for the bike riders and for the walkers, and to that extent, it is very attractive. Anybody who's watching this, please become part of this process. Get on your bike. You can also use the Bronx River Reservation walkway. It's a little bit shorter, but it's still fairly long. And we have bicycle Sundays through the gracious generosity of the Westchester Parks Foundation and some other donors. Bicycle Sundays continue all summer long into the end of October, with the exception of Labor Day weekend. And we've had tremendous turnout last year and this year because of COVID. And the bicycle enthusiasts have had that opportunity from 10 to 2 on Sundays to enjoy the Bronx River Parkway. So part of it is the story of exercise. I don't know if it was just done for my benefit, but the bottom line is that's certainly part of the story. Part of the story is adaptive reuse. How you take something that's old and you make it new again and live again. This was once a railway roadbed. And the old putt, as it was called, was another one of the rail lines, and had it turned into another commuter line, it would have joined the Harlem, Hudson, and New Haven lines, which all became part of the MTA and Metro North in the 1970s. But the line went out of service. Whatever the economic reasons were at the time, it ceased to be a functioning railway. And that is the moment in which American ingenuity takes over, and we look at a right-of-way that cuts through these very densely populated communities, and visionary people, not me, visionary people of that day said, this could be a great asset if we can re-envision it as something else. And they have. And we have kept that commitment these days later. But it's important to know every time we look at something that changes and it closes the door, it opens another door. We chatted a few minutes ago about the closing of the General Motors plant in Sleepy Hollow. And at the time, it was seen as a major problem for the community. And now, growing up on what was once an industrial use, now a beautiful residential use, once again, adaptive reuse, looking at what's possible going forward. That's a message not only for those of us in public office, but for people everywhere in the society. We see change around us all the time. I often say, because I don't have the technological skills of some of my younger contemporaries, that I'm a man of the 20th century, and we're 20 years into the 21st century. But the bottom line is change is around us all the time. We have to figure out, just like this roadbed, how to make change work for us and make something good come out of something that changes. And the final thing that I want to highlight, and then we'll get these bicyclists on the road, is the work that was done by Mayor Angelo Martinelli of Yonkers, County Executive Aldo Bello, originally of Yonkers, and County Executive Andrew O'Rourke, also originally of Yonkers. Those three men are not with us today. I might add, 2 of them Republicans, 1 of them Democrats, is completely bipartisan. They together had the ability, they didn't meet in a room on one day to plan this out, but each of them within their respective responsibilities, running the largest city in Westchester County where we are located, and then in sequence being 2 of the 9 county executives of Westchester County, they saw the willing and made the commitment to make an investment not for the short term, but for the long term. I've often said, I was born in this county a number of years ago. I was born and the county center was already there. I was born in the Bronx River Parkway was already there. Playland was already there. Kensico Dam Plaza was already there. These assets were accumulated by wise men and women long before I drew my first breath. And in this particular case, my predecessors, and I knew all 3 of them at some level, but they made commitments of time, energy, and money to do something that any number of people said, don't do it. It's going to cost us money. You could drop taxes or you could reallocate it in some other fashion. But they understood the need to invest for the future, to benefit people, not just yourself. And all 3 of them are gone. But the people that are benefiting from it today, and the bicycle riders that use it right now, and the ones that use it in the decades to come, won't even know their names. But we know their names. And I want to make sure that Angelo Martinelli and Al Del Bello and Andy O'Rourke are remembered because they saw the future, not just the present, not just till the next election. They saw something that could be of value for the longer term. And that's another message to take out of today, that 30 years will become 60 years, and it'll become 100 years, and none of us will be standing. But we can't afford to look narrowly about this asset that we've been given. I've often said we're stewards. We often want to admit, so we're great leaders and we're going to lead us forward. Well, okay, but we're stewards. We have to protect and renovate. That's what the purpose of the reconstruction is of the South County Trailway and the North County Trailway, because assets won't stay intact forever. It's going to take an investment of time and money. And the investment we make in a playland, the investment we make in Mearstead, which we were just at, the investment we make at the Tarrytown Lighthouse, people have to see this for the long-term benefit that it is, just as Angelo Martinelli, Al Del Bello, and Andy O'Rourke saw the long-term benefit of making this into this part of this trailway used for bicyclists and hikers and moms with strollers and all those things. And although they're not here to hear this praise, I know they're somewhere hearing this praise, that one of their successors recognizes that contribution, appreciates that contribution, and as much as it is given to us, that we will make sure that that contribution continues in the future by making the renovations necessary so that it can continue to have life. With that, do we launch these guys?
Launch them.
Bicyclists, man your station. And we're going to give them a 10 count countdown?
Yeah, do
Okay.
5.
You're 5. We could do it from 100 down. I know my numbers. I learned them in kindergarten. All of the bicyclists, get yourself ready to go.
That was so well said. Really great.
Straight from your email.
Yeah, and I'll get that.
That's what we're working on now. That's what we're working
and
on
then
now.
the other thing, the scout contest.
Thanks, babe.
I know.
Thank you. I'm sorry, Lisa. What did you want? Okay. All right. For our visitors on Facebook, we need to queue. Bicyclists, we need to queue up now because we got to
Get them
go.
all queued up.
The 3 of you get on the bike.
We got to queue
All right.
up, guys.
Queue up. We're
Paul.
ready to go.
This is the challenge of leadership.
All right, we're queuing up. Getting everyone queued up. All right, let's queue up.
Existed
Queue up.
50 years. So what I'm talking about is not high engineering. It was there. It was there. It was just a bar.
George,
Let's talk about this after I do this.
my apologies. I think we have to launch them, right?
Yes, you're going to get out there.
I'll send you an email with them electronic.
Okay.
Sorry, I thought you were waiting.
Yeah, no, I'm still live on Facebook. It's okay. Don't worry about it. I got it.
Ready, guys?
I got it.
We're gonna go with
Okay, attention! Attention! Let's go! 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take it away! if we are still live on Facebook. Thank you for watching. And we're happy that you could view in for the ceremony, but more importantly, you can access both the South and the North County Trailways at any number of different locations all throughout the corridor. If you go online, westchestergov.com, the information is there for you, and you'll be able to see it. Get out there, bicycle it. You can walk, you can do whatever you'd like to enjoy it. Thank you very much for watching. I'm George Latimer on behalf of Peter Tartaglia. Enjoy the day.